It's 197 days after the Wars of Wind formation, and our master infiltrator and now head of the clandestine services, Lars, is out and gone down south to the Waystation near Clownsteady in hopes of finding a new area to settle a expansion to their colony. In his quest, he comes across a woman named Sticky in the South Waystation, and she is interested in joining up. And seeing as they have extra money to dump into a new project, Lars decides to recruit Sticky and bring her on board the Warriors of Winds as a leader in the South to set up a brand new colony. Right there at the Waystation, there's an abandoned building, and they figure they can start by setting up base inside of the Waystation, selling off farming goods and bread and stuff like that to raise money for the colony of the South. Sticky is renamed to Janice the Avenger as she lost much of her family to bandits in the area, and she is out for revenge. A good person to head up our faction. A little later, we pick up Swift, who is the second person in the South Factions group, and will be helping Janice get a colony set up when Lars has to head back north or go find treasure and do other tasks for the clan. Janice trains. We get her up to speed. We get her weapons and everything going so she can at least fend off some initial attacks, teach her some of the basic skills, as we are allied with the Thieves Guild and you can use their training center. Even though we ourselves do not thieve much, it's good to have allies. Janice and Lars set up the bakery and the old abandoned building and set up generators, training facilities, and everything in the base. However, there's problems. The slave traders are always causing problems at the Waystation, attacking the guards and sometimes attacking us and trying to make people slaves and take them down south to the farm just south of our base at the Waystation. Another problem is that we have to make food constantly, and that means we're buying supplies from the bar and from the supply station at the Waystation to then turn into sandwiches, turn into bread, and resell at the shop. So ideally what we need to do is here in the south, we need to set up our own farm. So we're going to dump money into that. From the Warriors of Winds, we'll put it through Janice and Swift and let them build their own colony. Day 245, much later, we have a fully built fort down south. Initially it was just a farmland, but after being attacked by the local outlaw farmers and the slave traders, we turned it into a full-blown fortress. So we have our wheat fields here in the center. We also have vegetable farms, and we're going to continue to expand our farming operations inside of this new base. But we've also set up a lot of towers. We have, of course, a kitchen. We have a jail and other things in here too, and then training facilities. We've also picked up a lot of natives, drifters and stuff from the area, and brought them on board and are training them currently to become our southern city, which we are going to call Wayfort, since it's basically a fortress for the Waystation and a place that we can sell goods and set our base of operations to the south. One of the problems, though, that we've run into recently is that the slave traders had decided to start raiding us and our neighbors in the area for more slaves to increase their profits down south. Well, we could just try to wipe them off the map, as we have armies up at the Green Keep and also at the main city of the hub in Peaktop Forge. That could bolster our numbers. The problem is that they're allied with the United Cities, the slave traders, and also allied with the Traders Guild. So it's kind of a united faction, and if we kill one of them in front of the other, they all kind of ally against us. So we have to be kind of careful in how we go about it. We can defend ourselves usually, and seeing as not a lot of United Cities come out this far to the west, unless they're asking for taxes, we can defend ourselves usually without any repercussions. The problem is that if we end up getting into a fight in one of the United Cities towns with the slave traders, then they would probably turn on us. So we're trying to be a little bit careful politically as we'd like to keep the United Cities our allies so we can trade with them. We just want to get rid of the slave traders and need to see who else needs to go to make that happen. So we have guards and stuff posted out here. We hire mercenaries to help bolster our defenses here in the southern Wayfort until everybody's kind of up to fighting speed. But at this point, we have a pretty good defense. We could take these guys as we've set several different shipments of equipment down south, giving us better weapons and armor, and everybody's trained up as we have good training facilities, and they've been fighting a lot of the outlaw farmers and Band of Bones in the area too. So I'm confident we'll be able to repel this raid of slave traders no problem. Not only that, but we have some good crossbow defenders now, and they've been training up on the other bandits and stuff too in the area. Normally we'll just leave the gates open, and if anybody tries to run in, our crossbow guys will usually be able to take them out. With a bigger raid like this, we had to close the gates though. But it looks like they're going to probably make it through the gates here, even though we're killing and shooting a lot of them outside with our crossbowmen on top. Harp and Squint are doing a pretty good job. So, but we'll probably be able to have their numbers by the time they get to the gate. Now, there they go. They finally took it down. So we'll go ahead and run out and finish them off. It shouldn't take too long to kill them all, especially since a lot of them have already been hit by crossbow bolts. And we also have help of the mercenaries here too. A couple people taking some minor damage, but everybody in the southern Wayfort, just like with the rest of our clan, is trained as a medic. So even if people go down, the guy right next to you can patch you back up once the fight's over. So they got to take everybody down to really get us where we can't get back up. Alright, we're going to run back out. Let's see, I think we got a couple more guys here along the side of the building that we can go and take out. But we got our mercenaries out there already fighting them. Looks like this guy's already picked up one of our neighboring drifters that we hadn't recruited and taken him, trying to carry him off as a slave. So, dead too. They killed Hambu. That's part of the problem here. So they're, not only raiding our Waystation, but they're also killing drifters and potential recruits that aren't part of our faction. So we have to constantly be monitoring people from the nearby Waystation aren't killed by the slave traders. 64 days later, down south at the Wayfort, we've been building up our numbers and training a lot more people. We've got ourselves a lot tougher soldiers, and we've increased our defenses too, increasing our technical ability to create defense turrets by making Gatling guns and stuff on the wall. This should be no problem now, taking out some of the slave raids that come in. But we're just getting sick of the slave raids, and we are going to make a strategic strike today instead of just defending ourselves and killing everybody who tries to come and take our slaves. They don't seem to be getting the message, so we're going to go ahead and counterattack today at the South Slave Farm after we take out this raid. One of the things we've done too is we've lined both sides of the wall with more crossbows, and then we've also added on some of these machine gun turrets that we just recently researched that are a lot more powerful and can take out larger groups of enemies. So we'll go ahead and give that a try here in defense. As always, they seem to be admiring our town, which we've expanded onto, and increased our ability to farm and stuff too, and make a little bit more commerce in the south, mostly through farming. We don't do a lot of weapon crafting out of this place. It's all imported from our maid city of Peak Top Forge. But as an agricultural and just a general fortress and stronghold in the south, this place is really coming to its own 64 days after our last little installment here. We're going to go and pull everybody back inside, and we'll let the enemy come to us, leaving the gate open. Should try to draw them through our entry gate, and we have our walls totally lined up and ready to go. And we have our guards here too. We still hire mercenaries and tech hunters, which are kind of allied with us, to help guard us outside. But we'll go and close the gate and get them to pile up at the door, and then we're going to try out our new Gatling guns on these guys and see how quickly we can burn through their ranks. And then we need to gather everybody up, and we're going to go south to the slave farm and see if we can wipe them out once and for all, and see if we can wipe the city out down there too, and see hopefully that if we can do this without totally pissing off the United Cities and its other allies. We just want to try to eliminate the slave trader faction if we can, and probably the slave hunters too, which seem to be another NPC faction associated with the slave traders. Alright, things seem to be going pretty well. I am sometimes manually targeting them with the crossbows to make sure that they fire on their masses. But they are on our gate, but we're hitting them a little harder than last time. We're going to go ahead and repair the gate from the other side with all our guys. And let's go back up here onto the wall too and command them to fire down. Try the new Gatling gun that we got one of our new members, Rick, on. But you can see just the utter devastation. It just knocks them down. We got a pile of bodies outside our front gate now. And let's go ahead and hit them from the other side now. With these 4. There we go. That should probably wipe them out or finish them off, everybody who was on the gate. We got a couple people crawling outside. We've probably taken out on the trip in. One of them lost their leg out there. So we'll go ahead and take them out completely. Don't need any survivors here. And then we need to go ahead and form up after we clear out any remaining soldiers on the outside here, any remaining slave traders, and kill them. Looks like we got one other straggler. Oh, this is a slave hunter, so that's the other faction of slave trader. We need to go and kill him too, as he'll probably try to take some of the other slavers as... says, what's this? Try to help them, so I want to try to make sure that he doesn't have the ability to heal up some of the other slave factions. Let's go and get the gate healed up too. Let's go and get Rick to take out the slave hunter. Should be pretty quick work. There we go. And somehow somebody got pushed through the gate. Looks like it's probably one of our mercenaries though. We pushed him out through the little slot in the gate. But we'll go and get this fixed up, and then we got to pop out real quick and see if we got everybody cleared out, and then we'll form up and head down south. Looks like a mercenary here on the side is fighting off a couple of the slave traders, so let's go ahead and we'll pop out here and help them just finish off anybody else left outside of our crossbow range. We'll do them to walk together and kind of form up so no one's stuck to the side. Looks like some of our mercenaries are kind of running out ahead to go help their allies. Yep, so... And we got a couple of the mercenaries hurt out there too, but I don't think we'll have any problem taking out these last couple of guys, as they're about to get swarmed and overwhelmed. Alright, so let's see, I think this is probably the last of them. We'll take everybody off hold so they can run in and do their thing. Still got a couple people on crossbows too, out of our foot soldiers. So these guys should go down pretty quickly if they get hit with the bolts. Alright, there we go. And it says we've defeated the southern raid, so let's go ahead and get everybody back together, get patched up if anybody got hit, mostly with our own crossbow fire, most likely, or from fighting some of the other surrounding bandits that were out here. We had got attacked by some outlaw farmers and some bone dogs too, kind of at the same time, but it was pretty minor as far as injuries go. So we'll go and gather everybody up from the fort, even our crossbow defenders, and we have our mercenaries here that can help keep our fort clear of any raiders. So we'll just go ahead and lock up the gates and let the mercenaries on the outside take anybody out who's trying to break in through the gates. A good amount of our ranks that we've picked up here in the Wayfort are escaped slaves that came from the southern Wayfort, especially a lot of the hivers that we've basically taken in, given shelter, got them trained up, got them armed, and defend off the counterattacks we've got from the slavers in the south trying to recapture the runaway slave. Some of the other people we have in the group, you see Ghost there on the bottom, He's actually the berserker leader that we took as a prisoner and converted. So he's especially talented at crossbows. And a couple others, too, are converted. Either outlaw farmers or people from the area that were drifters over at Clownsteady, the Wayfort, or some of the other neighboring United cities that were looking to make a better life for themselves. Alright, so we have the slave farm in sight. We've got our army headed outside their gates. We're going to go ahead and split off our crossbow guys from the foot soldiers, and we'll put the crossbows up in the front so we can start our range assaults on their gate guards. And then the foot soldiers will be back up in case we get rushed. But I think if we go ahead and reorganize them and set them out separately, we should probably be able to take out most of the guys with just our handful of ranged foot soldiers. So we got them running out. Janice the Avenger, who is the lead of the Southern Wayfort, and Swift, along with Prince Harp, Sten, Arya, Squint, Soda, Rick, and Fade are our crossbowers from the Southern Wayfort. And then everybody else behind is trained foot soldiers. We're all set up, too, with some pretty good gear. We have pretty much all specialized or at least high-grade stuff at the very minimum, up to masterwork weapons and armor. So, and our skills are pretty good. I mean, we're not super top tier, but with this many people, we should be able to pretty much take out anybody, I would think, without having to call in the rest of our army from the Green Keep, or from the Hub, or Peak Top Forge, which are the northern cities of the Warriors of Winds. Alright, let's go ahead and bring in our guys behind, and I think we're getting ready to start our assault. We need to go and take out these gate guards. I'm going to go ahead and move up my crossbowmen to the top ridge here, and I have them numbers 1 through 9 for our ranged guys, so I'm just going to spread them across. We'll put them on hold too, so they're not moving around. And then when we shoot, they won't close the distance automatically. We got our foot soldiers on hold too, so they don't run in front of our crossbowers once the action gets started. But if we need to, then we can put everybody on melee if we have enough soldiers come out, though. Kind of looking at the base over there, it doesn't look like they have a whole lot of soldiers left. That's why we wanted to just hit them after they've done a raid. It looks like we've tipped them off. We got the gate guards coming to try to counter us. Looks like a couple of my guys don't have ranged on, so I need to go and turn that on real quick. There we go. Looks like everybody else has got their ranged on, though. And some of these guys have crosses, which are the most powerful type of crossbow. And then we have some of the more standard old world weapons, too, that are a little bit faster at shooting. Let's bring up our foot soldiers just in case they're able to close the distance. We can probably do some micromanagement here too to avoid some of the blows if they do close the distance on us and before we take them out. But as you can see, we're doing pretty good damage. Some of them have decent armor though. I noticed that we have a lot of negative numbers. But if we hit them in the right spot, we should be able to take them out. The majority of our soldiers in the Warriors of Winds are mostly katana users, though we do have some broadsword guys too and heavy weapon users, just depending. But for the most part, all of the guys who are archers are either broadsworded or using katanas too as a backup weapon. So we're definitely not helpless when it comes to melee fights too. Alright, let's go ahead and move our guys up a little bit since we've taken down the gate guards. We want to try to get inside and kind of establish a foothold. And then if I can get the ranged guys in there somewhere too, maybe up on the interior wall or just somewhere elevated, we can kind of cover our foot soldiers going in. So the main purpose here is we want to try to take out this fortress, and I'm not sure if it's going to be easiest to just take out all of the guards inside, everybody who's working in there too, or if we take out something that looks like a faction leader, a faction head of this city too. That might be a better strategy too. So we're going to keep our eyes open. Anything that looks like it might be a key target to take down the city. What we want to do is basically put this place out of business. Alright, we got our Range foot soldiers coming in. I'm trying to find a good spot to kind of set them up. Let's see if we can stretch them here across the grass. And looks like we're going to run into a field a little bit, so we'll go ahead and move those guys up first here. They got some farming. It looks like hemp farms inside. Probably what they have their slave guys working on. So they're making money on hemp and probably reselling products through slaves. Looks like here we got some cages. We got a house of some sort. Let's go ahead and move up our foot soldiers too. Outside, I also noticed they got a lot of hemp farms. So this is obviously an agricultural slave farm. And what do we got here? We got some other guards coming out of here. Traders Guild. Traders Guild guards. Now these guys look pretty tough. And they're trying to stop us real quick, but we're going to go and back up, so I guess I know something's amiss. So the Traders Guild seems to be allied with the slavers. They're together in the same city, and at least they're faction enough where my attack on their gate guards tipped them off, and now they're attacking us. We're going to go and open fire on the Traders Guild guards. And seeing as the Traders Guild is probably in charge of this whole operation, I think what we're going to do is go ahead and attack their house here and see if we have any prominent people we can take down or capture in prison, basically, to take the financial rug out from underneath them, if you will. Hopefully we can close them down by just entering the operation if we can take out all the guys in the Slavers Guild, or excuse me, the Traders Guild. Or take out all the slave traders too. We'll see what looks like the most feasible. So let's go ahead and rush in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and set up my range here in the center of town, just in case they have some reinforcements running in. We can give them some fire support. And then we'll go ahead and set our foot soldiers out to start melee in the town. Let's go ahead and wrap some of our range here along the bottom where they're not going to hit each other. So let's pull them out just a little bit. And we want to try to kind of surround the front entrance of the house too, so anybody coming out we can hit with ranged fire support. We don't have a lot of good cover here, but this should do the trick. I think we have enough crossbows or enough range attack to suppress them. Alright, now these guys are doing a pretty good job of fighting us, so these are tougher soldiers. I see they're making multiple hits, probably using the larger katana types or polearm weapons and doing area attacks. Though let's see how we're doing here. We seem to be doing pretty well. Definitely see more green numbers than red. Though we did have somebody go down already. We have Dawn hit the dust, hit the floor, so she's taken enough damage. Looks like over here we got the enemies with some supporting fire up on top of this little ledge, so we're going to run a couple of our guys up top here to try to take out their fire support. Looks like slave traders with crossbows on top and 2 guys on crossbows. So let's go ahead and get them off duty, or get them off their guns and fighting us melee. And we got some of our other foot soldiers going up there to support. Looks like Rick took a couple hits, and Soto, he's just basically from our fight over at the Wayfort earlier, still recovering from some damage he took. Alright, we're going to go take people off range real quick if they need to run in and help with melee. I just don't want to hit anybody else with our own crossbow bolts, as we've taken out their ranged here on the side. So we shouldn't have any more problems, I think, with fire support from the enemies. That looks like probably a Traders Guild guide up top, so we're going to need to get a couple more people. Okay, we got one of them down. And let's see what we got here. Ghost is our better crossbow guy. So I'm going to go ahead and put him up here on their crossbows, and we'll kind of cover the farm area and the entrance to the Traders Guild house. And I think we're going to go ahead and raid the house here in a second. Let's take out these remaining slave traders here on the ground that are trying to counterattack. Now, these guys actually haven't realized that we're invading or something yet. They're not hostile to us quite yet. Shouldn't take too long for them to realize what's going on, though. I think I saw something from the Band of Bones. Alright, looks like they've gone hostile to us. Let's see what's going on over here on the other side. So they have another platform with crossbows, but it looks like they're fighting somebody. Alright, so it looks like the Band of Bones has hit the slave traders at the same time as we have. So they're kind of dealing with us, and they're dealing with the Band of Bones invading their area. Now we've taken some damage here. A couple of our guys are down. So let's go ahead and see if we can pick up Don real quick, who got hit pretty hard. And if we can disarm some of the samurais too, that'd be good. Let's go ahead and run everybody over to the entrance of the Traders Guild house and see if we can figure out who's running this operation and get them out of here. I guess let's get everybody over here and we'll patch her up real quick since everybody's a medic. There we go. Fixed. We'll let Dawn recover on her own though. And looks like we already had somebody run inside and tip off the interior guards. So we better go in there and see what's going on. Intruder after them. I guess these guys are totally oblivious to all the mayhem that we just threw down outside. Unruly drags, they say. Wow, that guy just hit a lot of us for a pretty good amount. Aha! It looks like we found somebody in charge in there. Those are usually the clothes of the rich elites. So probably the boss of the Traders Guild. Looks like we've already taken that person out. But now we gotta fight their guards. Tear them down! So we'll see if we can dig through these Trader Guard elites here inside. They look to be pretty good, pretty well armored, and they're hitting us for a good amount of damage too, so we need to be careful here. As these guys are not to be underestimated. I see a lot of red numbers. So they're able to do area attacks, and when they do hit us, they're hitting us pretty hard. I see 60 damage, 36 damage, where we're only hitting them for like 8 and 6. So they're using the full-plated samurai armor, where most of our guys are just using medium armor. We do have some of the black plate, but most of that's like leather-based armor. And we do have leather turtlenecks on for the most part. It's kind of our standard gear with samurai weapons, mostly katanas, and two-handed katanas too, which isn't really good against plate armor. So we end up, what would be better is probably to use blunt weapons against this stuff, but most of our guys are just trained up in katanas, so we're just going to have to deal with it. We could turn range back on too, but I'm afraid that I would end up shooting my own guys, and that could just make the situation worse, so we're going to have to grind it out here real quick. And hopefully our numbers will prevail over these guys who do good damage and they have great armor. But we have, 3 for every one of them. Okay, Ray hit the deck. He's taking enough damage to get knocked out. Soto's down. Let's see, this guy's defending, but see, look, we're only hitting him by like 5 and 1 after all the damage just negated through his full plate armor. The thing is, we just hit him relentlessly. So we're tagging him with 3 guys all around him. And again, most of our guys here from the Wayfort are hivers and stuff like that, who've basically been escaped slaves. And they're not as trained up as some of the elite soldiers. But we do have numbers, and we do have good gear, so we're going to probably not lose any limbs or anything like that. But we're not as tough as these Traders Guild soldiers they've hired. Look at some of their stats, too. They got 58, 59 attack, 47 defense, strength 56, 32 dex. So these guys are pretty much badasses. Dang, look at that. We got Thumper down. I hear a Ghost outside shooting at some other people. Looks like one of the elites got up and tried to fight us some more, but we knocked him back down. Let's see if we can pull some guys out of the corner. Looks like we're fighting one guard kind of over here by the bench, and he's hitting us all, and I think we're having a hard time getting him. We'll go and heal up, too, with some of the people who are not in combat, and get the people that are down patched back up.
Give yourself up, he says. I don't think so.
We'll fight on. I think you're still in a bad situation, even though you're getting us pretty good. We got a couple backup soldiers coming in. Let's see if we can get Benji in here real quick. Oh, looks like he's taking enough arm damage. Damn, he's in bad shape. Look at that. Left arm is totally busted. Right arm's halfway gone. Head's all busted up. We're going to go and just let him heal himself up real quick. You don't need to be losing arms and stuff. And he's quickly losing blood out of that left arm. Let's see inside here. So the Empire Noble Guard is definitely beat up. It's not going to take too much more to get him out, but let's see if we can pull these guys into the main rooms. No, not all together. Let's get them running individually. We got a bunch of people down on the corner over there. Looks like Hart, Prince, Sergal. This is going to be kind of a nightmare. If we do win, and I think we will win. There we go. Got one of the elite guards down. Let's go ahead and start stripping their weapons out real quick. So when we do get them down, they don't get back up and fight us again. So we're going to take his armor, his medical supplies. We can go ahead and get his sword to drop just by switching swords and throwing it on the ground. Let's go ahead and strip him down. We can sell this armor off too. It's only standard grade, so not that great, but it's better served not on them and in our coffers instead of on their bodies. Alright, so we got some of these guys down. Let's go ahead and get patched up there. And we got to take out this guy over here in the corner as he magically ports through a wall. And guard too. We're getting knocked through the walls in here. Let's go ahead and move people out of the wall area. There we go. It's finished, he says. We got him finally. That was the last guard inside, but we've been absolutely beaten up, so we need to get everybody healed up as a lot of our guys are down, critical. Let's go and get these weapons off these noble guards. And hard grade armor, that's pretty good sell value right there. Chain, blackened chain. None of this stuff is excellent quality, but it's good enough where it certainly causes us a problem. This goes to show standard gear can be pretty good in this game. It doesn't have to necessarily be specialized or masterwork. I think we're going to probably, after we get healed up, heal these guys up and see if we can imprison them and maybe recruit some of these noble guards to our side. I'm not even sure if that's possible. So Slave Mistress Grace looks like she is the captain of this Traders Guild operation here. And probably the whole head honcho for this southern slave farm. So we're going to go ahead and lock her up. Let's go ahead and take off some of her gear here. She's got a little bit of medical supplies, which we'll go and use. She's got some drugs, which is fitting. And then we have, looks like some fancy robes we can sell. They're worth a little bit of money. There we go. Those boots are good. Somebody could use those, specialized ones. And anything else? We got some art, worth a little bit of money. We got some grog. We'll go ahead and put the art. We could sell that too in the grog. Aha! A metal weapon. Nice. This is the best kind of weapons in the game. So that's basically the best Wazaki you can get in the game right there. And kind of unique too. Probably the only one like it. So let's go ahead and give that over to Janesy Avenger, since she's sort of our leader here at the Wayfort here in the south. So we'll give her the short sword. Let's see what, I think she just has a high quality sword right now too, high quality katana, so we could give her a little bit better weapon. Also good for indoor fighting too, if I remember right. It's got a bonus for indoor fighting, where these bigger ones do not. Yeah, not only that, but it's a guardless katana, so it's not real good at defense, where the smaller one is. Looks like we're going to have to move some stuff around here. We'll move around some of these medical supplies and get her set up with that short katana. Let's go and switch this out. Looks like we're going to have to reload our medical packs too after this, as we've had a lot of people take a lot of damage recently. We started making our own medical supplies out of the Wayfort, but a lot of the supplies we actually get from P-Top Forge, as we have in the hub there a guy who makes medical supplies and patch kits pretty much full time, and so we just ship medical supplies to our other colonies kind of whenever we routinely need stuff like weapons and stuff delivered south. Alright, let's get these guys stripped and get their armor and their weapons off them so they don't get up and cause us more problems, as they definitely were a challenge. More of a challenge than the slave traders. Uh-oh, we got somebody outside here. It looks like they're trying to break back into the gates. And we're not quite really in good shape here to take on more elite guards. So I'm going to go ahead and close the door real quick and see if we can buy some more time. We probably need to patch people up and get them upstairs. Maybe we can hide upstairs for a second and recover a little bit. I don't know if we'll be able to use their beds, but we could certainly try to use the beds there to patch up some of the people that have got knocked out. And we also probably should loot this building. Let's go and pick people up here real quick. And anybody we can move upstairs too. Anybody here on the floor, let's go and pick them up and we'll move them upstairs. See if we can find some treasure and some beds that we can get into. Any more medical supplies too would be helpful. Yeah, we got quite a few chests upstairs, so we'll go ahead and see if they got anything worth taking. As if everything goes well, this place should be destroyed when we leave the town and take Grace, the slave mistress, and her contingent of guards to the brig in Wayfort. Alright, we got her still on the ground. Let's go and get her patched up real quick before we kidnap her. We don't want them dead yet, so I want to see if any of these guys we can convert into Warriors of Winds people, especially the elite soldiers. I'm not so worried about slave mistress Grace. But if we can turn her in for a bounty anywhere, too, that would be great. Maybe make some extra cats. Alright, Swift is getting up. I'll go and pick him up real quick. We got Ghost inside, too. We took him off guns just to give us some extra support inside here, as a lot of our guys are down or have broken arms. Alright, looks like we can't use the beds. That's kind of bad news for us, but we can at least get off of the bottom floor for a second, so if anybody does come in through the door, they're not going to see us until we're ready to engage and fight again. Alright, let's see, we got that elite guard still over here we need to pick up. We got a couple people that got thrown behind the bench and some of the furniture here. Let's go and see if we can pick them up now that we have a couple of our other guys down here on the floor. Looks like just Sten and Prince got tossed behind the bench by some of the elite guards when we were fighting them. Alright, looks like those two elite guards that were outside did finally get in, but one of them looked pretty injured. I think we had taken him outside before, we had taken him down outside before going in the house, so if we just can hit him in the head, we probably take him out again instantly, as he's just patched up kind of roughly. Two guys, we've got two guards coming in. Alright, let's take a look upstairs here. Alright, we got our guys engaged here, but the thing that's so dangerous about these elite guards is they can hit so many of us at the same time, and they're doing good damage too. So our leather armor and our leather plate, or whatever you want to call it, black plate, isn't the best against their weapons. Looks like we got him down quickly. Yeah, we hit him in the head again, so that took him out immediately. And let's go ahead and loot his weapons this time, as we didn't get to it before we jumped inside, which was a mistake on our part. So let's go and grab his sword and we'll take his medical supplies so he can't heal up his buddies too. There we go. Just need someone with a little bit of space. And again, these guys have high quality gear, high to standard quality gear. Doesn't make it easy. Go ahead and patch up this other noble guard here. If we can recruit any of these guys through the mod we have for prisoners, to convert prisoners, that would be great. Let's see what they got here in the chest too. Some of these don't look pickable by my guys. I need someone with a little bit higher skill. But we did get into this one. We got some 720 cats and look like a lot of rum and sake in here too we can pick up and resell. So we just got to find someone with a little bit of space. So we've got some here on harp, so we'll grab that rum, we'll grab the other supplies, and we're all formed up now, and we got everybody up or picked up, and it looks like we got one more guard out here who's pretty beaten up, but if we can get him out of the way, we should be home free. We have the elite Traders Guild guards on our shoulders, along with Grace, Slave Master Grace, or whatever, from the Traders Guild. So hopefully that will put this place out of commission, since we've taken out their, not only their leadership here, but taken out their finances probably too. Who is in good shape? I'm looking for somebody who's not too beat up that can take this out. Looks like Arya still in decent shape. Ghost is in good shape. He didn't take any hits as he was our covering fire. So we'll go ahead and try to take out this guy. Says, you won't get away with this. I think we will get away with this. And we're also going to take you with us if you go down. Shouldn't have messed with us, man. You should have taken the message the first time we wiped all your slave traders out. Let's see, let's move this guy up here real quick. This isn't going to take too much. If we can get our crossbow guys firing too. Right now might be a good time to use our range support to our advantage. Where's Pato going to? They're running the wrong direction. There we go. Got him down. Looks like a hit for 0 damage. You negated all of it, but it was enough just to reassess if he's conscious or not. And from all the blood loss and hits we got before, that was enough to take him down. So we went and picked him up, and we'll go and strip his armor off when we get back to town. All right, so we're heading back north to the Wayfort, and let's just take a look at what we did. We had a lot of alerts and stuff. I want to see how much damage we did to our faction relations with the Traders Guild. And it looks like we got a negative 83, so we definitely did a lot of damage to our faction relations with the Traders Guild. And let's see, slave traders were negative 26, so that's still kind of within reason. But yeah, a lot of damage to the Traders Guild faction. Nice thing is that we can probably repair those relations, as I know that there's different diplomats that you can pay off basically to improve relations. So we'll probably try that so we don't end up getting into fights in the United Cities with them and killing our faction relations with the people in the United Cities, which is the only thing I'm really concerned about. Don't really care so much about the Traders Guild's faction, though we would miss out on some trade opportunities at other cities if we have Traders Guild people up north who can give us supplies, but I'm really more concerned about getting into a mess with the United Cities when we're visiting. As I know, Traders Guild and even slave traders are in a lot of those towns. So the idea is, let's just get them out of the United Cities, so see if we can do away with their presence altogether. So we'll probably use some guerrilla warfare tactics in the future. We're locking these guards up too. We'll go and get them some food. And looks like these guys are already up. Look at him. We beat the hell out of him, and he's already up and conscious. Here on the other side, we got a couple more heavy samurai from the Traders Guilds. We got Slave Mistress Grace. And we'll see who we can convert and who we need to execute, basically. Let's go get him fed real quick. This is all Gohan we make here in town, along with the dust witches. That's all made here in the Wayfort that we resell up at Waystation, too. And let's go and close down this. We got 2 different jail cells here, so we can kind of keep our guys divided up in case we have different factions and stuff we need to put in prison. Let's see, these guys aren't up yet. They're still knocked out, but a couple more Empire Noble Guards that I'd like to try to bring into our ranks if possible, since they have really good stats. Let's go and get them some food real quick, and then let's see what happened here locally, if this changed anything. Alright, so I send Fade over to the nearby town of Clownsteady, and it looks different. I notice we got a lot more bandits and stuff running around, but the buildings themselves look destroyed where they weren't destroyed before, so it seems to have made some changes, as we have several buildings that were just residence halls that are now in tatters. And here's another citizen, just a peasant it looks like, or something. Malnourished peasant. So, taking out the southern slave farm, looks like it's already changed up the cities a little bit. We got another building over here that's newly destroyed. So let's see what happens. We haven't executed anybody yet, but I'm thinking after we either execute Slave Master Grace and some of the other elite guards, it might change the city. Hopefully more. I'm not trying to destroy the United Cities. I'd like them to remain our allies. but I just don't need the slaver faction and the corrupted traders guild down here making changes. So we'll go and move Fade out. We're basically just in town here to drop off one of the diplomats that saw us taking these guys prisoner, and we had to knock them out. But if we drop them off in their own jail, they will usually forget about what we did. So that's the plan, at least. We don't want to get into trouble with United Cities. And so far our faction relations got hurt a little bit, but not majorly. Everybody else is pretty much in bed, as you can see there to the south. And I think we're going to go and wrap up the episode here for this. I am going to have a continuation of our war against the slave traders and the Traders Guild here in the south. I want to hit some more of their bases and take out some of the other slave farms and strongholds that the Traders Guild has. Looks like we got some problems inside here too, probably faction fight. So we might have to reload at some point. Up north, as I was saying earlier, we can go and pay off the Traders Guild pacifier, and that will basically normalize our relations. So if we do go into places like the United Cities towns like Clownsteady, we don't end up getting into fights right in front of their allies and ruining our faction relations with the United Cities. So we're going to go and normalize, even though it costs 100,000. That's actually not a lot of money for us. And I think next time what we're going to try is taking our clandestine service guys like Lars and some of our other newly formed infiltrators and see if we can covertly run into some of these other towns and take out their faction leaders instead of taking entire armies in. We're going to try it with a more stealthy, roguelike manner, just taking a couple people, maybe Lars, and taking out their leaders and imprisoning them, and seeing if that can do the same work as an entire army, like what we just did. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to see some more of this, thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.